Hey gamers, what the fuck is up? I'm Garrett, your host.
Good evening, gamers. I am your real host, Garrett, and on this episode of the podcast, we have...
What's up? This is Garrett. I go at horse_jeans on twitter.com.
Hey, I'm Garrett at orangemorange on twitter.com.
Hi, I'm Garrett, and you can figure out my @ if you fucking want to.
And I'm also Garrett, at SutbyRuss on Twitter.
Oh boy! All right, Alex is already Titanic this podcast right off the bat.
This is off the
has only been in the Skype for like 2 minutes and is already just wreaking havoc.
Oh. All right. Anyways, hey, we're gonna do a little fun. We're gonna do a little fun episode. We're gonna talk about the Billboard Top 10 as of November 15th, 2018. We have 10 songs to talk about. Maybe a few more. We will figure that out in towards the end. But for now, let's get into our top 10 or the top 10. Not really my top 10. Jackson, do you want to take number 10?
I will say number 10 because this is like these first two actually 9 and 10 are basically tied for no, there's one other that's sort of there's a top 3 for me of this top 10, but this first one is really, really good. It's Drip Too Hard by Lil Baby and Gunna. It is the lead single for their collaborative album, Drip Harder. And it is really good. Basically, Lil Baby and Gunna, for those not familiar, are two members of the YSL Records label and are generally Young Thug disciples. And you can really tell in this song that they are obviously Young Thug disciples. But, like, as someone who really enjoys Drip Harder, like, they definitely, in the last year or so, have, like, I listened to a couple Gunna mixtapes last year, and it was just like, oh, this is, like, less good Young Thug. But I think on this tape, like, their chemistry is just so infectious, and, like, having two people that can do that sort of Young Thug melodic rapping style at each other in this sort of back and forth way is just, like, it's really, really, really fun, and I love this fucking song. It's really good, and I was surprised how like big it's gotten. Like it's up to 100 million plays. It's like way more than any of their other songs. But I mean, it's like it's a good song. I'm very happy that it is on the charts as high as it is. I was surprised to see it this high. I expected it to be on the chart.
It doesn't. I'm sorry. You want to go real quick, Josiah? I was just.
It was me.
Yeah, I don't
Alex.
have a lot to say other than
Garrett,
like
sorry.
I really like this song. I don't have a lot to add other than that.
I think the guitars that make up the beat are kind of really interesting and strangely reminiscent of like 60s country music.
They're really cool. Yeah, I like the beat a lot.
It's definitely like an interesting thing to be doing, especially within the scope of like trap music today. And I liked it for that. I wasn't, like, a huge fan of the song, but I thought that was fun.
I really love the first Lil Baby verse. Like, the way it just sort of comes in right away. I really love that whole first verse. Like, Lil Baby and Gunna are both... Lil Baby is a little inconsistent. Like, you never... He's delivered some good songs, I think. But I think Gunna especially is like really talented, and I'll mention it later in the episode. But like on the new Metro project and also on Astroworld, like Gunna's contributions are really, really good. He's like Young Thug, but he's like really, really smooth, and like his voice has kind of almost a more angelic quality to it. It's really great. I really like Gunna on this song and generally.
I was gonna say I enjoyed the track, and I was gonna say. I don't think it's too shocking that this is as popular as it is, Jackson, as it combines man's two most important desires into one song, which are getting paid and having sex. Which
it's true.
It's not a shocker that it's this popular.
It's a winning combo.
It's a winning combo.
Isn't that what like half this fucking chart is about, though?
Yes.
Getting
Yes.
money and having sex.
Yes.
This is easily the most rap heavy chart we've ever done. I think.
Oh yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
Probably.
Even the pop songs, like, still, like, we'll see it a bit later on the chart. But even the pop songs have rap in it. So, Like we discussed this a little bit on the last Billboard episode, but like it is in the past like 2 years, I would say, pretty much since like Panda, which is a weird beginning to have, but I would say Panda was like that was like
Panda, and Bad and Bougie is the other one that was like felt like a landmark.
Those were the moments of like, oh, like basically it sort of coincides with Billboard changing their sort of like how they put together the Hot 100, and streaming became a much bigger piece of the puzzle, and so it's not too shocking that hip hop has risen because of that, as hip hop, you know, being on streaming. Nonetheless, we'll discuss this probably a bit more in depth on probably later on in the episode, probably soon enough. But nonetheless, number 9 comes from young Sheck Wes Mo Bamba.
Sheck Jesus.
Sheck Wes.
This song made me laugh really hard, and I have absolutely no idea how to process it. I think the way I feel when I listen to this song is like really comparable to the way I feel when I watch The Room. It's just so confounding to me. It's so strange and off and so bad that it becomes an aesthetic of its own, and I think I kind of like it.
Like,
yeah, I think you'll find the more you listen to it, the more you're compelled by its singular strangeness.
I would agree.
so I jumped on this pod like fairly last second, and I went and listened to the top 10, and this was probably one of the songs that I liked the least, at least at first listen. And we were talking about this before pod, and I think the way I could best describe the way I thought about it when I was listening to it the first time was I imagined myself sitting in a room at like an open mic night, and if Sheck West came out and he started playing the music that he has on this song, and I might be like, okay, I'm on board for the beats, I got it, it's good. And then he started rapping, and something sounded just slightly off key, and it kept bothering me, and I couldn't do it. I looked at the lyrics, and I tried to see if there was something salvageable, and I'm like, this is just very generic lyric wise. But
going to the lyrics is where you made a mistake. That is not what this is for.
I will counteract your open mic analogy, Britt, to say that this song goes so hard that it literally caved in a floor at like a frat house party.
Oh, I don't deny that if I was drunk off my ass and I heard this and I heard the beats, I'd be like, this is amazing. But I am not drunk right now, unfortunately. So I am not at that phase, and so I think a little bit more critically, and that's probably not in Sheck West's benefit. We'll go back to me looking at lyrics in another part of this podcast because I have more things to say later on.
When I first listened to this song, I laughed and thought it was awful, and immediately listened to it again and listened to it a third time.
Yeah, yes. It is really like I was recently at a party where it was played 5 times, and not once did like the energy dip when it was played a consecutive time. Like, people really do go like it's like that. I don't know if you saw those Kingsman movies. There was like a big plot device at the end of them where there was like a secret weapon that you could activate that like made everyone uncontrollably just fight each other, and that's basically like what turning this song on in a room full of dudes is it's just like you're inciting a riot basically. It is a very fun song. It's not my favorite song from Mudboy. Like, there are better songs on Mudboy, but like it's something specifically compelling about his just general kind of energy and vibe. And the beats have a really unique quality to them, this song and all the ones on Mudboy. Like, songs like Gmail have these just like insane like Nightmare World trap beat sounds them with these growling bass lines. It's just nuts. Like, and I really even though like it's very unpolished and like not quite all put together, there's just something like undeniable about his music, and especially Mo Bamba. It's like that melody on the chorus just gets stuck in your head. It's like you almost can't believe a song hasn't just done this before, because it just seems so kind of like straightforward, but it just also so unconventional and weird.
Yeah, I think it's great that this is like blowing up. I find that really cool, and just the fact that like there was like a post on Hip Hop Heads this week of like college marching bands are playing this now, And it's just like it's funny. The idea of like Sheck West somehow really like probably not now, but like eventually becoming a household name is hilarious to me because this is like the guy who says bitch over and over again and has a segment on Gmail where he literally just explains why he likes using the word bitch so much.
I thought you were gonna say that like the marching band version of Mo Bamba was gonna become like a huge standard, and that's why I laughed. But then you're just like,
yeah,
Sheck was just gonna be a household name. But I would like to have both things happen at this point.
I would love
one of the top comments on that post on Hip Hop Heads was like, college band professors Google probably look like Mo Bamba chords.
Oh god.
There was also another great thing about this song was there was a thing where like Zed tweeted about how he heard this song for the first time and didn't understand it, and basically every single like other professional DJ around like unanimously were all like, no dude, it's like a good song. And like he was saying, and then like Zed was like, sorry, I appreciate things for like musicality and chords and songwriting. And then like the producer of Mo Bamba got the mentions was like, actually the song works because we use the this kind of note and this thing. He like explained how the song works music theory wise and why it's like so popular. And Zed, the point here is that Zed fucking sucks, and he made a song where he collabed with the M&Ms. He literally made a song where like there was a video of him in the studio with the M&Ms, like the red M&M and the green M&M, and he like.
Would y'all fuck the green M&M real quick?
Yeah.
Yeah, would y'all fuck the green M&M real quick?
No, unquestionably. Like, they made the green M&M hot. Like that's just like common knowledge. Like they knew what they were doing.
They shouldn't have given it the heels and lip gloss.
They know what they're doing.
The only thing that the green M&M is missing is a massive pair of titties. Then I would find her hot.
That's true. All circular.
I mean, you joke about that, but like, I mean, yeah. I don't know. Okay. Oh God.
Let's talk about the Post Malone.
Who's horny
song.
Well, okay. Hang on. Wait.
Hang on.
Let's just.
There's
I will let Alex take over this one. I'll let Alex take this one.
If you Google search the green M&M and then put another space in, the top result is the green M&M girl, but the second result is the green M&M is trans.
What?
Later we've got is the green M&M an aphrodisiac?
What?
The story behind that second result is that it used to be that like all the M&Ms didn't have their own kind of distinct personality. There were like commercials with all the M&Ms in them where they were just like all like dudes or whatever, and then they made the green M&M like the girl M&M when they sort of rebranded them, and people like made a joke online about how like canonically the green M&M is trans, and like just went through and that's why that result came up.
That's so.
It's kind of like the Babadook is a gay icon type thing.
Oh my god.
Okay.
So, Matty.
Yes.
In lieu of talking about that Kodak Black song, can I instead read the personal life section of DMX's Wikipedia page?
Yes, please. I would love.
Please do.
Yes.
I would love you to.
All right. DMX is a Christian and has stated he reads the Bible every day. While in prison, DMX stated that he had a purpose for being there. Quote, I came here to meet somebody. Don't know who it was, but I'll know when I see him. And I came here to give him a message. And that message is Jesus loves them. DMX is currently a transitional deacon in the Christian church and aspires to become ordained as a pastor, stating that he received this call in 2012.
I like that.
DMX is the father of 15 children.
Okay, classic Christian. I just have to say to that, my parents are Christian, and I am of a family of like 6 children, so Christians be having hella kids.
Oh boy.
He was married to Tashira Simmons in 1999, and they were married for 11 years. In July 2010, after his first of 3 incarcerations that year, Tashira announced their separation. DMX maintains that the two remain friends. His 15th child, Exodus Simmons, was born to his girlfriend, Desiree Lindstrom, on August 16th, 2016.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Alrighty.
DMX is currently in jail. This is just a separate point. DMX is currently in jail for tax fraud.
Did he go there to meet someone and convert them to Christ again?
I'm sure. Alright, Post Malone.
Yes.
Post Malone.
Him?
That was an important detour, but we need to get back to work.
Yes.
Him?
Oh boy. God. Post Malone.
I can't
Post
believe I
Malone.
have to talk about Post Malone.
Can I
pods
take
in a
this
row.
actually?
Yes. Go ahead,
Yeah,
Josiah.
go for
This
it.
is so I normally avoid Post Malone at all costs, but I think first of all, since Post Malone's rise to popularity, I've realized how many people around me are just attracted to dirtbags because Post Malone makes dirtbag pop. I don't think that's I think that's undeniable. I want to read some of the lyrics from this because it is just and I'm rolling with my brothers like it's Jonas. Stuff that is dumb and just here. Where was the other one?
I also have the lyrics up, and they can probably help out a little bit.
It is just, I know you said earlier it is it's like someone who's trying to
He's trying to have emotions. It's very
he's
clear in the
trying-
song that he's trying to have emotions. He's trying to make a connection with his audience, but it does not come off as believable in any shape or form. He is.
Can I boil this down for you? Because you're getting at something that I don't think you realize you're getting at, and that Post Malone here has managed to make an Imagine Dragons song, but worse.
Oh my god!
Okay.
Oh, you're right. Oh fuck.
It really is like an Imagine Dragons song, but if an Imagine Dragons song heard a Quavo song a while back.
Yeah.
and
Oh, I
just
found
sort
the
of
other one. I
absorbed
just
that.
wonder what it's gonna take. Another
The-
foreign or a bigger chain.
Yeah, it's the narrative of this song is a really hollow and superficial read of whatever emotions he was feeling here, or trying to feel, and
who can't
deals pretty
relate to
exclusively in played out fake deep tropes.
who can't relate to drinking Henny and I'm trying to forget, but I can't get this shit out of my head.
I'm glad
I
you're able to
I
find
understand.
better to say than Post Malone shower, bitch.
Do you have the Washington Post?
In general. Oh yeah, the Washington Post. That article. I mean, that article really just lays it all out in terms of why Post Malone is bad. It was really like a work of art. I was in awe.
I have not seen this
how-
article.
It is
Oh
great.
my God.
Oh,
Oh,
it's
it
a
is great.
delight.
Oh, we're reading the snippet right now on the podcast.
I have it up already.
Oh, wonderful.
Can I read I'm gonna read the
Go
first
ahead.
paragraph.
Go ahead.
Him, the most popular young artist in the most unpopular young nation, is a rhinestone cowboy who looks like he crawled out of a primordial swamp of nacho cheese. Post Malone is a Halloween rental, a removable platinum grill, a cubic zirconium proposal on the jumbo team. His music, one of the shallowest bastardizations of rap to date, and that likely has the creative tension of associates at a downtown law firm complaining that $150,000 a year just doesn't cut it. He looks clubbed over the head by a cartoon peacock. He just turned 23, and America just can't get enough. Nielsen
Wow.
recently...
Yeah.
I think.
there.
We can keep going. It's bars for days, top to bottom. It's written, by the way, by Jeff Weiss
Yeah,
of Passion Weiss.
That's pretty shockingly perfect.
It is a full takedown of like simultaneously like not only Post Malone and the concert that this is a diary of, but also like it's a takedown of like the American cultural phenomenons that would lead someone like Post Malone to being as popular as he is, and just kind of like how Post Malone's popularity is sort of an indictment of our cultural systems at large. It's really good. It goes in.
He makes Vanilla Ice look like Luther Vandross. He makes Macklemore look like Mac Dre. Macklemore may have lacked subtlety or a rudimentary understanding of when to share text messages, but there was no questioning his dedication to confront his white privilege. He compares him to Macklemore, and says Macklemore is better, and that's a sign.
One more thing about just like the storyline of this song. It's so the bad. Classic like douchebag like talking to his ex like, "Oh, you're doing better now? Yeah, I'm doing like so much better. Yeah, just like yeah, I'm so much better now that you're not here." Just like I don't know. It's impossible to pick apart really because of how dumb it is.
Is this Pete Davidson's response to Thank You Next? But subtle?
I actually have one positive thing to say about this song.
Go ahead.
Oh boy.
You know, I actually kind of like the vibrato that he puts on some of his vocals here. That's it.
I think vocally, like, here's the thing, like, vocally, like, he does have, like, a decent, like, solid singing voice, you know, so to sing a melody. It's just, like, such a vapid, empty song.
Hooky melodies, too. Like, but it's literally just, like, the melodies are completely empty vessels. I'm gonna read another short paragraph, and then we can move on, because this is a really good one. It starts with a quote, which is him at the live show when he pulls out his guitar and he says, "This is usually when people start walking away at festivals, but I hope you say, this song is about feeling really sad." What followed sounded like Bon Iver cosplaying as Bon Scott right before he tried to drink himself to death. What Post Malone is selling is the chill bro relatability of the third most sensitive member of a frat house, softly crooning acoustic guitar rap covers to seduce gammas after a pledge paddling. He is the dynamite hack, the platonic playlist substitute at the Duke University coffee shop, so the vice president doesn't fire you for playing Young Dolph.
Wow.
Post Malone laid the path that Hobo Johnson is now going down.
Oh God.
No, Hobo Johnson's a completely different thing.
Yeah.
Post Malone, they're two different kinds of.
They both need to take a shower.
Aesthetics are the same.
I mostly mean like their
approaches
approaches to sadness in music.
Oh, that's also true. Yeah, like it's just like completely like vapid and immature like analysis of sort of relationship dynamics,
which we will get to. We will get to a bit later on.
There's always a good amount of that on the charts.
Oh, Hobo Johnson is if Post Malone knew a few more words.
And couldn't sing.
Basically. Okay, nonetheless, okay, number 6 on the charts is Halsey, Without Me. And I will say, for every song on here, I at least can remember something about the song. I can remember, how the melody goes. I can remember some lyrics. I can remember the hook. For almost all the songs, except for this one, even though I listened to this about 5 or 6 times in preparation for this podcast, I still cannot tell you how this song goes. Because...
Actually, you're right. I listened to this, like, less than an hour ago, and I can't remember any of it either.
Yeah. Her chorus vocals are really grating on it. I remember that. And thought that her performance in general was pretty melodramatic, but I also thought it was kind of a huge improvement over her older work. And after the Post Malone song, it was kind of refreshing.
I thought the production was very nice, even if it is like definitely forgettable. It's like pretty well done, and I think as far as how this song goes, this is like very just sort of like, this is fine.
This just felt kind of inoffensive.
Yeah,
it was,
exactly.
Like, very repetitive and like didn't do anything new. Just like good production, sort of forgettable lyrics, forgettable melodies. Yeah.
I'm glad that she's at least embracing the fact that she's a pop singer and not pretending to be alternative like she was previously.
Yes, I agree. And speaking of alternative, I just want to. I'm putting a timestamp on my notes real quick because I want to show a video and for the audio listeners, play audio of her singing a Blink-182 song a cappella in a random mall somewhere in the West Coast. So,
oh no,
take it away.
Where are you? And I'm so sorry. I cannot sleep, cannot dream tonight. I need somebody in always. The sick, strange darkness comes creeping in, so haunting every time. Like as I stare, I counted the webs from all the spiders, catching things and eating their insides. Like indecision to call you and hear your voice over reason. Will you come home and stop this pain tonight? Just stop this pain tonight. Don't waste your time on me. You're already the voice inside my head. I miss you, I miss. Don't waste your time on me. You're already the voice inside my head. I miss you, I miss you. That's the best you're gonna get.
All right, and we're back. Hope you guys enjoyed that. This song is not very well. It's more tolerable than a lot of Halsey songs I've heard on the radio, but nonetheless, it is just not very memorable at all. And Halsey, there are Halsey songs like I think "Closer" is still one of my favorite pop songs of the decade, which is a weird hot take. I know. I know. I like "Closer" a lot. It's
Incorrect.
it is. There is an intoxicating energy to it that I cannot keep myself away from.
I understand the sensation of succumbing to the Chainsmokers. I've been there. We've all been there and just given in to the relentless beast that is the Chainsmokers.
No.
But like
No.
that's not even the tolerable Chainsmokers song. Like there's one or two Chainsmokers songs that they come on. Like Roses is a much better
Yes.
song than Closer ever was.
I don't care.
Josiah songs.
Let me take a selfie.
Closer.
I don't care. Number 5 on the list, Juice WRLD, Lucid Dreams.
Juice WRLD.
So I made a horrifying discovery while I was listening to the song in preparation for the podcast, and that I made this song like 6 years ago when I want to say it was either like into middle school or beginning of high school that I made this song. If anyone is familiar with the Matty lore, you will know the song "No Crush" that I made, the less than a minute long song where I complain about girls and stuff of that sort. If you have not heard it, I will we'll play it for you guys real quick now.
No, we're not playing it.
We're not gonna play it. No, we're not playing it.
We're not subjecting our listeners to that.
You can look it up on your own time. You can look it up on your own time. I'll put a link in the description. You can listen to it then.
Basically, the point we're getting here is that like the fact that Lucid Dreams at all resembles like 9th grade Matty is a pretty good indication of like how much Juice WRLD needs to be stuffed into a locker. Like it's
kind of
he really like I've heard someone say that he sort of embodies sort of all of the worst like traits and aesthetics of like the SoundCloud rap. Like he literally just is all of the like check marks without there being like a core like this is who this artist is at the. It's so like it feels like he was created in a lab to sort of succeed in the current music climate.
I don't know. I think Matt Ox is coming for his spot there.
Maddox is good though. That's the weird thing about
That is
Maddox.
true. That's
that
the
he's
thing.
14 years old and he looks like an evil anime villain, and he's good at rapping somehow. But I mean, the Juice WRLD is just like he's so grating. Like he's like if everything that was good about Lil Uzi Vert wasn't there, and it would be Juice WRLD.
I had 2 extra notes to the song. My first note was, hey, y'all ever hate women? Y'all just fucking hate women sometimes. Because Juice WRLD very much hates women. As there's like I said, and also to go off Jackson, there's so many lines where it's like I want to stuff this guy in a locker. Like who knew evil girls had the prettiest face? Like get in the fucking locker, Juice WRLD. Jesus Christ.
So it's kind of shocking how much a reflection of emo a lot of trap is right now. Like,
Yeah.
even down to the teenage lyrics, well, especially those. If you handed me a lyric sheet of this song and told me that it was like an early American football demo, I absolutely would have believed you.
Oof.
Yeah, emo in general is just like it has such a big like sort of influence on like the sort of melodic side of like where a lot of hip hop is going these days, and it can be like executed really well. Like the new Lil Peep album is really good, and like it's just that like there's so many like with the proliferation of like artists who like someone talked about this with streaming. Like the idea with streaming is that streaming was supposed to lead to people's taste getting sort of more diverse, because it was the idea that if you let everyone listen to everything, eventually people would start listening to like more adventurous stuff, and like the best stuff would eventually rise to the top, which is true for like some people. Like I'm sure that streaming music has made a lot of us more or diversified our taste, but the thing is that so much of it is dependent on algorithms, and so most people, like generally most people, like having other people choose what they listen to. Like people like listening to the radio because they don't like to have to like build their music taste from scratch. And with algorithms, like music that sounds like other music is the music that gets rewarded, because then if it sounds like a lot of other songs, like when one song gets popular, that song gets thrown into algorithms for being like sonically similar, and so you just get a musical landscape that sounds much more samier than in a pre-streaming musical landscape. And like Juice WRLD is a perfect example of that, is because like he's popular because he's able to like a chameleon like fit in with just the like landscape, the general like aesthetic requirements for existing in this musical landscape, rather than any actual like. And it's so dumb because like there's so many like people that are like, oh, I love listening to like really trippy artists like Juice WRLD or whatever, and it's like all that's like atmospheric or like woozy or druggy about this is just like they put like a little like reverb on or whatever. Like there's so much better music that like envelops you in sound, and it's just dumb. It's a dumb song. It's not a good song, in my opinion.
I heard this on the bus this morning.
Oh no. like hearing it on pop is still so weird, because it's like I remember when this song was like starting to climb the charts, and I'm like, wait, who is this who is this guy? And then like hearing the song and then like reading the lyrics, being like, what? It's like I kind of understand like why this is getting popular, but like why? And then to see like number 5 on the charts is still like there's conspiracies at foot here, folks. All right, the Juice WRLD. We've joked for years about industry plans, but I feel like Juice WRLD is like you could reasonably probably find some shit. I don't know, but nonetheless,
yeah.
Also, my hot take about the song is that Kid Cudi was a mistake. I think we need to go back. We need to go back.
This is one of your bad takes.
I know it's a bad take.
I think what Matty is saying, I think the better way to phrase that is Kid Cudi is very good. Kid Cudi maybe did not teach other people the right lessons about making music, and when people who are not Kid Cudi try to do Kid Cudi things in music, it does not sound good.
Kid Cudi is like Richard Linklater. He's a good artist responsible for inspiring many bad artists.
That's a very good take, IMO.
But also, like, I don't really like even early Kid Cudi. I'm not that into, except for like a few songs. But nonetheless, again, we'll save it for next Halloween. We'll save it for next Halloween, where I go more in depth. And number 4, somewhat on the opposite end in terms of emotions, but so much worse somehow, is Marshmello and Bastille, Happier. As
kind of surprising that this is the first EDM song we've heard on this list.
Is it really?
I would say, yeah, I'd say so.
I'm so boring.
I was gonna say, I made this joke in the Discord chat, but right now, if you look at the Billboard Hot 100, you will not find a single Ed Sheeran song, and the Billboard charts, of course, they don't know what to do. They're like, what? There's no Ed Sheeran. What are we gonna do? And so the Billboard gods have made a sacrifice and the result of that sacrifice is this song being number 4 on
It's
the
a
charts.
Marshmello and Bastille collab.
Bastille, who hasn't really had a hit, who hasn't had a hit song in years, and then Marshmello, who's been well known in the EDM circles, but has not really made a splash on the charts until now.
Marshmello has had chart hits before.
Yeah,
like
that
multiple
Selena Gomez feature.
Weirdly high chart hits. We just haven't happened to talk about one on an episode, I don't think. I would love, for any of those who aren't like super familiar, which probably is most of you, the sort of history of how we got here with Marshmello is like an indictment of literally everything that's wrong with EDM culture, and Marshmello's the worst, and I would love to talk about it. Basically, Marshmello was a dude, I believe his DJ name was .com before, and basically he was like a trap DJ who like had a stalling, not going anywhere career, and so basically what he did was he put on the Marshmello helmet and became a quote-unquote anonymous producer, and then sort of changed his style from generic not good trap music to generic not good sort of future-based music. And originally there were like a couple like okay songs that he came out with, like there was a little like Jersey Club stuff, whatever, and then quickly like it just sort of narrowed down to sort of the most vapid, most like easy listening, just like positivity, nothing there, future based music where like people heard like the amazing, incredible like sound design that Flume was doing, and it's like, okay, what if I do this but I like spend 4 minutes on it in Ableton and I make it sound as just like smooth, rounded edges, baby time music as possible. It's like, it's really like truly like infantile music that exists solely in the way that he brands himself and his image, and it's generally like very disappointing and kind of and really like Marshmello was sort of this like apocalyptic sort of like symbol of the end of the like the EDM bubble. Like he really like when he showed up kind of felt like me and sort of my friends that like got, I mean like EDM is still huge, but like it there was a period in like 2015, 16 with like the amount of action that was happening on SoundCloud and like the way that scene was explained, it just felt like it was never gonna stop, like it was only gonna get bigger and bigger. But then like it just turned into this sort of like market where people just sort of copy like the basic, like they mimic, there's so much mimicry and sort of like copy and change it a little bit and then spit that back out, and SoundCloud just kind of became like a poisonous space, and Marshmello is sort of the pop equivalent of all of that stuff. The one thing I will say though is that Bastille is preferable to Ed Sheeran vocally. I would rather have an Ed Sheeran hit on the charts. I'd rather have a Bastille hit song on the Bastille. Like he's not good, and it's just sort of these sort of bass root like triumphant indie rock things. But it's not like gratingly lame quite the way that like Imagine Dragons is. It's more it's slightly more tolerable, I would say. I'm not advocating for Bastille, but it's like there's always a song like this in the top 10. Like there's always one like, and whether it's an actual rock pop song or just a rock pop singer featuring on like an EDM song, like there's always one of these in the top 10. And as far as like the options between your Imagine Dragons, your Ed Sheerans, whatever, like Bastille is one of the like more preferable artists who operates in that lane, I would say.
Is Marshmello trying to steal Daft Punk's shtick and wear the helmet all the time?
No.
Or is that just
it's not the
him
helmet
being weird?
It's more to do with he's more stealing the shtick of sort of, there was this huge trend like starting about like 3 years ago where like anonymous producers were like the big thing in EDM, where like big producers would start new side projects that had a sort of different sound to them. Because that's the thing, is like EDM DJs, like for the most part, like the not good ones, just exist in such narrow lanes that they like need to like create whole other projects just to like minorly musically deviate from what their standard fare is. And so like all these producers would like adopt an anonymous pseudonym that would start playing shows that so they had these separate side projects, and like basically everyone did it for like a couple of years, and the trend sort of got played out. But Marshmello is like the stupidest example of such.
I aggressively also hate the album cover, or the cover that they use for the Selena Gomez song that he has.
Oh yeah, the
that
one that
one's
looks like a restaurant, like a gas station T-shirt
Yes.
with the wolves on it.
Yes.
Very, very graphic design is my passion type stuff.
Yeah. That
It looks like the shirt Zach Galifianakis wears in The Hangover, like that
this
kind
one
of
is a little
vibe.
bit better, but like even then, it's not great. It just, I don't know. I don't know why they have to like brand his face on it besides to advertise that it's a Marshmello song, and that's, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about
It's
the
just
steel working
the
with
ubiquity
the
of it to get it stuck in dummies' heads,
Yeah.
either by imagery or like
Did-
whatever possible.
Did any of you watch the video for this song?
Oh no.
No, God, no.
All right, let me talk about it.
Oh no.
Please.
Oh boy.
So, this is a kind of standard relationship narrative for pop music. Like, he's effectively saying that he could see that this relationship isn't the best fit, and that he isn't the best fit for this person he's singing about. And I respect the general change in tone from most love-oriented pop songs, even though the song is awful. But the video for it's a little interesting.
Oh,
no.
Let's.
It's,
oh God.
So it feels completely removed from the song, like nothing's related. It follows this like girl who at the start of the video gets a dog for her birthday, and she's just kind of like struggling from bullying, and it's showing how the dog is like improving her life.
Mhm.
And then in the like 3/4 area of the video, getting towards the end, the dog gets sick and is brought to the vet and needs to be put down. And that's when the chorus comes back in, and it makes it feel like they're suggesting that in order for this girl to be happier, her dog must die.
What?
What the fuck? What?
It's an insane moment.
Yeah,
There's just so much like cognitive dissonance there.
So.
Why?
That sounds like an Alt J video, but somehow more disturbing.
Oh my God! Why?
I don't like it.
I feel like I need to just like cleanse the chat, so I'm just gonna share. You guys can't see it. I'll send it in a second. But someone posted a tweet where it's a picture of Jeff Rosen and Chris Farron singing with the same microphone together, and then next to it is a picture of Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper singing in the same microphone together as in A Star Is
Yes,
Born.
this means
And
that Chris Farron showed Jeff Rosenstock A Star Is Born. They went to the theater and saw A Star Is Born. Finally.
the cinematic parallels between student and teacher Jeff Rosenstock and Chris Farron and Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga. I'm sure their off-screen romantic relationship is equally tumultuous and fascinating.
Again, Chris Farron, he's hot. He's a short king. We love Chris Farron on this podcast. Chris Farron,
How
like
talented-
There was someone on Twitter.
Chris Farron liked our tweet about us being on Spotify now. Which, by the way, hey, we're on Spotify. Go check us out there. He liked it. He liked to tweet about us being on Spotify. So, Chris Farron, if you're listening, please come on the podcast. We'd love to have you.
There was a really great tweet he quote tweeted. I think it was today, where someone tweeted at him saying that Chris Farron is to lesbians what Cher is to gay men, and he said this is a compliment of the highest honor.
Oh my God.
Truly.
Oh boy. Okay, let's get to the next song, because this song is not good, and we discussed almost everything but the song itself. Number 3, Travis Scott featuring Drake, Sicko Mode. We discussed
This
this
is a
a few
good song.
podcasts. We discussed this a few podcasts ago when we discussed Rodeo, and my thoughts on the song have not changed a whole lot. I still think it's a good song, but nonetheless, there's a lot going on here. There's a lot happening.
There's a little bit
here.
too much going on.
There's
Yeah.
it's 4 or
Is
5
it radio
songs.
friendly? Not really.
It's
I was
4
kind
or
of
5
surprised,
songs.
like a song this overstuffed got so high in the charts, but it does
kinda,
have a
it
great
kind of
feature going
weirdly
for it.
does work in a way where it's like the song comes on and it's like, oh man, like Sicko Mode's about to happen, and then you get that one solid section, and then it's basically just like when you hear it sort of in public, it's just basically like 2 songs. Like the Drake song at the end is like fully a different. And the thing is that my personal opinion was that I think it works as like a 3-part thing, but also like there were 19 songs on Astroworld, and there were just a couple that could have been cut, and you could have taken the Take Heath Drake Travis song at the end of this and made that its own good song, and then had the Travis part with those really like punchy space drums and had that be its own song, and then you could have done a whole song with that Drake on that sample in the beginning that sounded really goddamn good until they switched off. But like, I mean, having them all together gives you that crazy feeling on first listen where it's like, oh my god, it's a Drake feature, and then oh my god, Travis, like. And we talked about it on the podcast, like Astroworld is really an album that was sort of meant to be consumed in that like frantic first listen Twitter discussion type climate, and that's part of the appeal of Sicko Mode. But like every part of the song is good, and that's why it works. Otherwise, it would be a total fucking mess.
Yes.
But like all 3 parts of it are all like awesome, and the Like a Light thing is the best part of the whole Astroworld album, and it's catchy as hell, and I love it.
The moodiness in the first section of the song is just completely stunning, and to me, the best thing Drake has been a part of since like 2015, maybe.
It's very very good. I like it. Although I will raise you, Feel No Ways on Views is like
Yeah, Feel No
is a
Ways.
perfect Drake song. You're right.
I was gonna say with Sicko Mode, on part 3 of the song, which by the way, it feels weird to talk about like a song on the Billboard Hot 100 and say, oh, it has like 3 or 4 parts to it, pretty much.
It's nuts. This song is
it's
like
bizarre.
huge.
Is Sicko Mode Gen Z's Stairway to Heaven?
Oh god damn it! Out of here! Get out of my head!
Bohemian Rhapsody is what it is.
Get it out! No, get both of those things out of my head. Get them out of my head. Okay.
Heads up.
Oh my god. Okay, the thing I was gonna try to say. Sorry, Britt. What were you gonna say?
I said that Bohemian Rhapsody is still on the chart thanks to that the biopic.
Oh, the biopic made by the pedophile.
That hack job.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah,
that
pedophile.
Like
The hack
fucking
dog,
pedophile.
the vanity profile for the band done by the hack dog pedophile. Yeah, that one.
Okay. Anyways,
yeah, that one.
I was gonna try to say that on part 3 of the song, Drake has never sounded like more like he sounds like a senior citizen on part 3 of the song. You read those lyrics, and you go, this dude is old as fuck.
But that's really it's like such a like testament to the Drake phenomenon, which is that he's really good at figuring out how to say anything in a way that makes it sound like a cool brag. And that's the whole thing with Drake, is that we all deeply understand that this guy isn't cool. We've all known that from the jump, and it sort of doesn't matter because he's just such a good performer.
Yes.
And we're all sort of willing to buy in order for him to entertain us.
When you said Drake sounds like an old man on this song, it made me think of that Chance the Rapper feature on Child's Play where he goes, "Yeah, see."
Oh my god.
I do like that feature.
I still can't get behind this, mainly because the whole Drake's a pedophile thing. So I'm kind of like, no, that ain't it, Chief.
Yeah, there's that. Which
I thought about a good chunk of the people on this chart, or at least a chunk of the songs on this chart.
Oh yeah, the
More than
percentage
you
of the
would
top
want.
100 is currently dominated by like known abusers, rapists of multiple sorts. Not good, folks.
Not good.
Yeah, why are we
General
doing this?
miscreants.
Why are
do you
we
remember?
doing
Did you guys see that thing that I retweeted? It was like the 4 types of musical acts nowadays, and it was like SoundCloud rapper that samples SpongeBob SquarePants and guards a terrible secret.
Oh my god.
But the reason the senior citizen part, it comes the 2 things. Obviously, the Took half a Xan, 13 hours till I land. It's such a Drake bar because you have you've had a lot of these songs about like rappers abusing Xanax, and then Drake's like, no, I take my Xanax responsibly, like.
I'm
just trying to get through this flight, I'm just a good guy.
And then also, again, back in high school when I busted to the dance, like who says that?
That line is so
People
good. People
who text Millie Bobby Brown.
Oh my god! And then obviously, as Britt was saying, we should acknowledge that Drake. It was rumored that he went on a date with an 18-year-old girl who he had known, and possibly, maybe there's an implication that he groomed her since she was like 16, but still, like, I think she denied it that they even went on a date or whatever. It's a weird situation.
There are pictures though.
There are pictures of them together. There's pictures of them together.
Yeah, I don't even.
But the whole date thing, the whole like renting out a whole restaurant for her, we don't know if that's any. That's the thing. It's like I think she denied that part, but nonetheless, Drake is probably, again, like I said, Drake is probably guarding a terrible secret as we speak.
There are multiple just like
tidbits
of things coming out about Drake this year that just hint towards something bigger and unpleasant that we don't know about.
Ignoring speculation, we kind of knew that Drake was icky beforehand anyway, just by his personality and the way he carries himself and the way he talks about women.
Yes.
But
he also made
he's a lonely sad boy with feelings.
Yeah, but he made Feel No Ways, so I mean, it's impossible to tell if he's good or bad or not.
He also made Star 67, which I was listening to the other day. That song is good. Oh my god.
All right, we need to stop talking about how good this.
In general, if you're reading This Is Too Late, is very underrated and great.
It's a very good album. Okay, nonetheless, number 2 on the chart, Maroon 5, Girls Like You featuring Cardi B, and
guys,
we need to bring in a special guest for this one. We're gonna bring him in as we speak. But Alex, I will let you continue.
Adam Levine is so unbelievably bored. This was another good video. Did any of you watch it?
I did watch.
No,
I've seen.
You did
parts
you read?
Of the video. I've seen parts of the video.
Alex.
So in the video, he appears with like 30 different women while singing about needing one specific girl. And like you can tell it's going for like a diverse kind of feminist-y vibe, but it's just meaningless and kind of very off-putting because of his subject matter.
I listened to it because I am doing I listened to it because I was listening to all of them at the time, and I hadn't listened to the song in a while, but I was looking at it, and I was like, wait a minute, he says yeah a lot in this song. And so I copied and pasted this song into Word, and I highlighted yeah, and I just looked for yeah, and how many times it pops up.
How many times?
449 words in this song.
Wow.
And
wow.
37 of them are yeah. And this is why you should let me look at the lyrics. But also, there's one particular thing that bothers me, and it's that there's a random snare drum that just appears at a couple of times. Like right at the beginning of Cardi B's verse, like it's this random drum that I'm like, wait, did my computer do something? No, that was the song. And then toward the very end, it did it again. And I'm like, why is that in there? Is this like a mixing mistake, or is this on purpose? Who let that stay in there? I don't know. And one more thing, I would love to continue to support female rappers. And, Nicki Minaj, I initially was like, yeah, Nicki Minaj, but then Nicki Minaj kept talking. And then Cardi B also started talking and opening her mouth. And I'm like, oh, never mind. You're homophobic as hell. We're not going to do that.
Yeah, we discussed this a little bit on the last Billboard episode, but it's just like, it just kind of sucks that like rap is having this real moment right now in the mainstream, but a lot of its top players are just these awful, terrible people that just like undeniably terrible people in some shape or form, and it's just like, this fucking sucks. I mean, it's always been like this for like a lot of popular genres where the top people are, the terrible people. I mean, Eric Clapton's a known racist and all this other shit. John Lennon, a fucking abuser. But nonetheless, it just sucks because again, you want to for someone like Cardi B, you read about her background, you go, oh wow, I want to root for this person, but then she says some stuff and you go, come on, you can't expect. Sorry, I'll let you go, Jackson.
I was just gonna say that, like, for me, the issue is not so much that, like, she opens her mouth and says dumb stuff. It is the way that, like, when people approached her and, like, yo, the things you've said about trans people are not cool. She was, like, very unapologetic, like, multiple times before she, like, it took, like, her being called on it, like, 3 times to apologize, and she, like, didn't even really then. And it's just, like, really disappointing because, like, there are certain things that, like, will turn the public tide against an artist, and, like, being transphobic just isn't one of them. Like, people just don't care, and it's really fucked up. But that's currently the world we're living in.
Yeah. Back to, like, this song, the Cardi B feature, along with really everything about this song, just feels so calculated to be a hit. It has, like, the 80s feel that's popular right now, and the songwriting is extremely by the numbers. It's like 90% like 4-letter words, and I think I said earlier when we were talking that there's no surprises, but actually, like, the way it transitions into the Cardi B verse, just like it's kind of jarring. It actually reminds me of
very tactile. It
reminds me of like a softer, poppier, like unintentional version of that Charlie XCX song "Lip Gloss" with Cupcake on it, where it starts out like a sugary pop song, and then Cupcake comes in and just like the beat changes and it's like, when we have sex, fuck me like you obsessed. It's like that, but like not intentional. In
a just world, Cupcake would be in the position that Cardi B is in right now. I think we can all agree on this.
Please, I would love Cupcake on this chart.
But
I think real quick, I think that your point about the rappers is very well summarized by just the nature of generally. I would recommend reading the Pitchfork review of Red Pill Blues, which is the name of their last album. If you weren't aware, they called it Red Pill Blues. That's one fact. The other important fact is that this review is incredible, and it is just savage dunk after savage dunk. But the byline of it is Adam Levine's band returns for their 6th album of smooth, professional, antiseptic soft rock, which somehow also features Kendrick Lamar, Future, and A$AP Rocky. That's like the perfect summation of Maroon 5 in 2018, is that they're this just soulless, spotless, like smooth surface rock music that is just completely devoid of all life, and then like each song has like the name giant major label huge rapper phoning in a verse here. And that's like every Maroon 5 song that's gotten popular on the charts for the last like 4 years. Like the SZA song was that, the Cardi B song, the Kendrick Lamar, they're all the same song. It's just like Maroon 5 does a thing. Also, there are there are like so many people in Maroon 5.
It's like 8 people.
Like, they're
now.
a band.
It's 8 people now.
And the insistence of like continuing to release music under the band's brand instead of just Adam Levine, which is just what we think of as Maroon 5 anyways, and what everyone thinks. Like, is the rest of the band even going to be on stage when they play? I assume yes.
Yeah.
They're on the cover of Red Pill Blues in the same size as Adam Levine.
All in different Snapchat filters.
Yes.
But also, isn't that basically make Maroon 5 Panic at the Disco? Because Panic at the Disco is still like the one guy. And
Well, with Panic at the Disco, it's more
Disco.
Like Panic at the Disco is like, it's more explicitly like at this point it's Brandon Urie's solo project, and like it's by the way, Panic at the Disco, they just barely missed the top 10, and I'm very happy about that because they fucking
like 12.
suck now. They fucking suck. But I was gonna say, the fact that Adam Levine has a second career where he judges people's voices is very laughable to me. That is, considering how bad of a he's so, like, the fact that Maroon 5 has gotten this far is still incredible to me. is that he's just not a good singer. He's so fucking bad at singing. His falsetto is so bad.
He's a good singer in that he is very good at making his voice just sound like a very inoffensive version of whatever it is. He's he's talented at the kind of lifeless imitations he does. His singing performances are not good.
It's almost like it's so on pitch that he sounds like a singing robot man. And I don't know how much of that is auto-tune.
Here's a great, real quick,
hey guys.
Quote. Oh, go ahead. Actually, Alex.
Jero has spoken. He says it's too late and that he's already in bed. But he texted me with his message about girls like you. And he says, "Let the world know that before girls like you, I wanted to kill Adam Levine. Now, I would kill for Adam Levine.
Oh, no.
Let them know."
Jero's optimism is a force of nature stronger than the Earth's gravity, stronger than love itself. Jero's optimism is undefeated and unstoppable.
I like that it directly coincided with him getting a job at the bank. I find that hilarious.
That's the reason why he's become such a poptimist, is because, again, that's all the bank plays, is just what's on the radio.
Yeah, he goes to work and he has to listen to 92wash.fm all day.
I would say that for the music that I have at my work, which is the current musical playlist that no one at my job seems to know where it's set up, where it comes from, or how to change it. But the current playlist is entirely like violin classical music covers of recent pop songs.
Oh my
it's
God.
like all of it, but then like also like worked into that playlist randomly will just be like film score songs, because they're also like sort of orchestral, I guess is the idea that whoever did this was in the building was like going for. But it's like if I have to hear a classical music cover of Despacito one more time, I'm like going to blow my brains out.
Oh my
like
God.
It's going to happen. It's
It's
really
sad that Despacito is gone and not even in sight on this Billboard.
It's really tragic news for our people at large.
Oh, God.
That's almost as bad as like.
No Ed Sheeran.
That's almost as bad as like the single person acoustic covers of upbeat pop songs.
Oh God. Oh. Don't even. Oh my God. My brain hurts thinking about it.
The Atlanta episode where they open with the white girl doing an acoustic rap cover of a rap song.
I think they close with it.
Oh yeah. No, I think it's the beginning and the end of that episode.
Yeah, it's like a part of the storyline.
Yeah.
Okay.
Matty, speaking of Panic at the Disco being back and bad, have you heard the new Jared Way single, "Baby You're a Haunted House"? It's pretty good.
It is very good. I heard it is very good. But it's very good. Gerard Way. I'm glad that like he might be coming back. I hope, because again, I think My Chemical Romance is a very underrated band who are very, very good. Three Cheers for Sweet Revenge is a very good album. Black Parade, very good album. Danger Days, I need to listen to it again, but I do remember there being some pretty good songs on it.
Definitely of like the mid 2000s kind of emo pop punk wave. I think their stuff has probably aged the best.
Yes,
partially because like Panic at the Disco is kind of shitting on their legacy. I don't know what.
My Chemical Romance, they knew when to break up. What's the other
one I'm thinking of?
They knew when to break up. Panic at the Disco, like,
right.
It should have just been, again, like, after, like, Ryan Ross left the band, like, they should have just, again, Britt and I should have just gone solo.
And Fall Out Boy's doing the same thing. That's what I was thinking of.
But I was going to say, before we get to our number one slot, I do want to mention that while we are shitting a lot on Adam Levine and Maroon 5, it cannot be denied that Songs About Jane, their first album, has a lot of bangers on it. There's a lot of really good songs on that album, and I'm gonna go for my top 5 of. Yes, that's a great song, and it is. Again, I'm gonna do my Maroon 5 early discog top 5. So basically everything from 2007 to 2002. Number 1, This Love. Boo! That's got a good piano line. I think the bass on it is really good. This Love is great. She'll Be Loved. It's a wonderful ballad. Hard to Breathe is a really good kind of like alt-rocky song. Sunday Morning is also a really great ballad, and It Makes Me Wonder is a really good like funk soft rock song, in the vein of a Hall & Oates track. It's very good. And that is my ranking. And Maroon 5, again, they used to be a not bad pop band, and now they're a very bad pop band. It's very disappointing. And did you guys remember that they're playing doing the Super Bowl halftime show next year?
That's weird.
Yeah,
So
it's even funnier because it's in Atlanta, so like they could have had Outkast perform. They could have had Migos and Outkast perform. They could have. There's so many wonderful options you could have taken, and instead it's going to be Maroon 5, and they're going to bring out Cardi B.
Yeah.
And that's going to be the halftime show, and maybe someone else probably.
They're gonna bring out Cardi B, and they might bring out Future, basic or like I don't know. It's gonna be like the Coldplay. It's gonna be the Coldplay. It's gonna be the Coldplay halftime show all over again.
I think several of the rappers though wouldn't have done the Super Bowl anyway because they're still protesting over Colin Kaepernick.
Yes.
Sure. Andre 3000 definitely would
Oh,
not
would-
have done
Yeah,
this.
100% would not have.
I remember hearing Rihanna got offered that.
Oh yeah, Rihanna said no because she's like fuck the NFL, which is
Appropriate.
power
Go
move.
Rihanna. Yeah, go Rihanna.
Fuck
Can I
Tom
talk
Brady.
about Ariana Grande now?
Let's do it.
Yes.
So our number one song is Thank You next. And the beat on this song is very, very lovely. It's very sweet and a little sad. And the song itself is very sweet and life-affirming. And Ariana Grande is one of my favorite and one of the best pop artists out right now.
I'll agree with
These
that.
are all factual
All facts.
statements. It's one of those songs I heard it the first time that people were buzzing about it. Oh my god, she dropped the song, whatever. I hear it, and it's one of those songs you hear it the first time, and you're like, well, yeah, that's what a good pop song sounds like. Yep. Like within good 20 seconds, you just know it's like great.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think this one actually has any rap in it, if I remember correctly.
No.
She's kind of made this on her own, and
It's-
she's making her album after her post-breakup.
Yeah, this is
David
kind of
Brown.
like the end to the Sweetener album cycle. And I will say, like, apart from just being a good song, I think this is just such a smart move for where she's at.
Oh yeah, it's
Because, like,
fucking genius.
anyone who's been, like, remotely paying attention to pop culture and pop music knows that, like, Ariana has been through some shit lately.
Yeah,
And
honestly, protect her.
this is just like I can't really think of another pop star right now, and this isn't like a great time for pop stars, but I can't think of another pop star that could make this move right now where she's basically copping to like admitting to what Taylor was shit on for years for doing, which is like you date
Directly
someone,
name
you get an
dropping
album
people you're
cycle's
dating.
worth of songs out of that relationship and move on.
I don't know. I think it is a little different.
It is. Like it's definitely not
She's
the same
not.
situation.
She's not like dating in order to inspire. It's more that she's dated all these people that have sort of all inspired her because they've all sort of impacted her life, and that you really do get the sense that this is sort of like, even though she clearly it's funny to think about, like, she definitely didn't record this like in between when he made that dumb joke on SNL when she decided to release it. So it was either like she was planning to release it and waiting for the right time, or she just like had this in her pocket in case Pete was gonna say something stupid, or like whatever it was. It's absolutely like a power move, like just not only taking control of the conversation in that way, but then like channeling that into like one of her biggest hits.
And it doesn't. Sorry, you can go.
Frankly, I think like she's using songs like this more than anything to kind of cope with everything that's been happening with her. And she said like she's been saying that she's been writing music to try and deal with it and recover. Although I do find it really funny that the album cover for this song also kind of vaguely looks like the Burn Book cover, and I think it's what she was inspired by. So, but even then, like, she doesn't really burn any of her exes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it doesn't
The thing is that
feel.
It's a
Petty.
clickbaity title. That's the
Yeah.
thing. It really is clickbait, but it's a good song.
But it does like even in like the sort of small ways that like by making the song she's sort of like kind of shitting on Pete or whatever. It's really more like it's more about
It's more
it
about
seems
the
like she's
mood.
genuinely like honest. No, but like it all seems like she's genuinely like honestly like reflecting on stuff, and it really feels
Yeah.
like it definitely like there's a certain amount of calculation to it, but there's not a coldness to that. Like there's also like clearly real like feelings, and I think for someone that's like been through so much, whether it's like genuinely how she feels, I'm sure it's not how she feels all the time, but like the fact that she can be optimistic at all with like the last 12 months of her life is like unbelievable. Like kudos to
Yeah.
her for being
It's just
a
like
very strong, good, generally good seeming person.
it's a good simplification of just the idea of taking that pain or whatever you take from that relationship and turning it into pop.
Yeah, I haven't really got to say anything yet, but I do like the song a lot. It's a very nice, it's a nice, good song. Although, I this is the first time I'm hearing it, even though like it's number one on the charts, like number one debut, by the way, like just it's it's not only her first number one, but it debuted like to number one on the charts like right off the bat, which is very impressive. Always, it's still
her
very
number
impressive
one?
even in the streaming era.
It's
Yeah,
her first number one, yeah.
it's insane.
I
will-
would not have guessed that.
She's always hovered.
will-
She's always really like she's come like super close always, but like never has been able to get up there. And now is like I think it's like same with Drake. Like Drake didn't get a number one song until One Dance, and of course now he's had like a ton of number one songs since then. Like there's a tide changing. Like I do think like this is gonna be like her first of many number ones like going forth. I would say, but
I listened to One Dance the other day. That's not a bad song.
I like it. I still like it. I think it's a decent song.
Yeah, like some of that the faux dance hall stuff from the Views More Life era is actually good.
I
It
will
feels
say
Clear
like-
the bag,
I don't know.
Ariana.
I like
Like-
that she does the thing on this song where she doesn't just copy and paste the same stems from the chorus each time she sings over it again. I think, like, I don't know if there's another song on this chart that does that.
That is true. That is like a nice touch. Cause she like always does like different little vocal runs on stuff. Cause she's like a really talented vocalist.
Yeah. That's like, Prince would always do that.
And then I was gonna say because this is my first time listening to it, I had no idea where that one taught me love, patience, pain meme came from. I was like,
Oh yeah.
where does this
that's
come
as
from? And
well.
I'm like, it's just,
Who
this is
is-
happening, and it's like, oh, now I know. Okay, cool.
Who is the Ricky in this song?
I
It's like
don't
some
know.
backup dancer she dated after she dated Big Sean. It's like, do you remember when
Okay.
she was in the donut shop and licked the donut and then said, "I hate
Yeah.
America"? That's the guy she
Yeah.
was with.
Classic.
And then also, I will say, if there is any criticisms I have of the song, there is like it's similar with the Halsey song. I'd say there is like a lot of like unnecessary cursing here. That's like you're trying to sound like an adult, and it's like you don't need to curse. Like it doesn't really add anything to the song.
I don't feel like it's unnecessary.
I don't
It's
know.
just the way it is.
I kind of like the line, "I'm so fucking grateful for my ex," like the way she delivers it.
It just flows
I
well.
admit it.
It just flows well.
Wait, I don't know. It still feels like it's like you know, like it probably fits with the melody, and it's like if you took out the cursing, obviously it would fuck up the melody. But
Well, yeah,
nonetheless,
you would really need 2 syllables
Yeah.
there.
I get it. I mean,
What
I
else
get,
do you
I
slap
get
there?
why. I get why, but it just still feels like it's a bit. I don't know. It just feels
I'm
weird.
so
It feels weird.
freaking
Here's the thing. I grew up
grateful for
watching
my
like I
ex.
grew up watching like.
I'm so freaking grateful.
I'm so gosh darn grateful for my
Look.
Continue.
Look, I grew up watching Victorious, which Ariana Grande was on, so it's always still weird to hear
Same.
her cursing. It's always weird to hear like these kind of like pop stars cursing still.
You know what's
I had
what's
the
weirder?
fattest crush
You know
on
what's
her
weirder
when
is
she was
going
oh,
on YouTube and watching behind the scenes of Dan Schneider
Okay.
like fondling her.
Okay,
Dan Schneider, yeah,
No.
that's a big yikes right there.
Quick shout out, fuck
The-
Dan Schneider.
fuck Dan Schneider.
Yeah, serious fucking
Oh, yeah.
Dan Schneider.
All right, so I think we've said all we can say about these songs, and but before we end in the podcast, we're gonna go over what our favorite song on the overall Hot 100 is, and I will go first. Of course, My name is Garrett, and my favorite song on the Billboard Hot 100 right now is Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper's "Shallow." And A Star Is Born is it's a great movie, and this song is really fucking incredible, and I love it to death. And Lady Gaga, when she is like like that part,
yeah, it goes.
It fucking
really
goes.
really fucking goes. And the wild thing is that, like, I heard it a bunch of times, and you see the trailer a million times, and you go into the movie expecting to, like, not, like, really be moved by them doing "Shallow," and then they do it, and you're like, just, you have a full body reaction to it. It's great stuff. Quality flick right there.
Probably gonna go see that tomorrow.
I should go see it too.
It's a very good movie. I
Alex,
enjoyed it quite a bit.
I'm surprised you didn't see it. As a Gaga stan, you will enjoy her performance.
Yeah, I love Gaga, but I just have this weird, deep down distrust of Bradley Cooper.
That's
Ever since-
totally fair. Oh yeah,
You saw him in Limitless.
And
I
it's
did
just
not- I
kept
don't-
me
there are-
from, like,
he has
watching it.
negative energy emanating from him, but he's actually good, and his performance in this movie is
Oh, it's great.
It is very good, and you're just like, I can't believe this bastard man has done this.
Every time, like, I see a picture of him from that film, it feels like if Eddie Vedder had, like, the kind of plasticiness and just, like, fake persona of Drake. That's what it feels like.
Eddie Vedder is who he sort of was like.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Especially in
Also,
that meme where he's just so buried in makeup.
Also, his name in the movie is Jackson, Maine,
Yeah, that's also, like,
which is just incredible.
Jackson on Maine.
also a factor. Also, I just, like, I don't know. I think I don't trust music films generally.
Most music films are iffy.
I will say
Yeah.
this one gets it right, and I mean, and that there's obviously, like, Lady Gaga, like her character getting, like, so famous so quickly. That's the only, like, unrealistic part. But, like, once you actually get into the whole, like, okay, she's a pop star now, that stuff it works. But, like, the whole core of that film is the relationship between Lady Gaga's character and Bradley Cooper's character, and they have
Jackson, Maine.
Jackson, Maine. They have, again, like, really great chemistry, and again, it's really like, the movie is very intoxicating, like, watching them together, because you just go like, they're so good, and then just, again,
It's some real movie magic shit.
it's
You're
a very
just like, oh, damn.
it's a very sad movie. It's a sad
to go
movie.
to the cinema.
The power of film.
Yes.
Alright, we should continue down
Yeah.
that schedule.
Oh God, I'm sorry to sorry, but I'm
No,
but with
okay.
Jackson Maine, I'm thinking about Bo Burnham's character in Parks and Rec, Chip McCap.
Oh my God, yes.
Okay.
What's the name of the song? It's like support the troops. Like,
I love my
and sing I
mom.
love my mom, or something like that.
Again, support the troops, beautiful like my mom. Okay, nonetheless. Okay, Garrett, what is your favorite song on the Billboard Hot 100?
My favorite song on the Billboard Hot 100 is from the new Metro Boomin album, and it's one of the songs he did with 21 Savage called "Don't Come Out the House," and it is like it's the best. It might be my favorite 21 Savage song, like, period. It's the first. This album is the first we've heard 21 Savage and Metro Boomin together on multiple tracks since Savage Mode, which is still by far, like, miles better than the rest of 21 Savage's other stuff, because 21 Savage only really sounds good on one type of song, and it's a song with big, loud Metro Boomin 808s, and sounds scary and spooky and Halloween-y. And
Murder music.
oh boy, is this some murder music, because it starts out with this chorus, and then the first verse, he whispers it, like, at a full whisper, like ASMR rap. Like, and it is, if you haven't heard it, it's truly incredible. Like, he sounds so threatening while whispering over just like a bare bones rap beat. And the rest of the song actually has, like, really good energy. There's a piano that comes in right after the whisper part that's really, really, like, cool, and, like, brings the energy back to the track once he goes back to, like, a normal cadence. And generally, it's by far, like, one of the highest energy sort of 21 Savage like vocal performance. It's a little less lifeless than like the sort of stone face quality that Savage Mode had, and it's by far I think probably the best song they've made together, and maybe my favorite 21 Savage song, except maybe the song he did with Burdinsky, No Target, is really good, but it's great. I love this song, and even though the Metro Boomin album doesn't really add up to much as a cohesive whole and can be spotty in parts, it has a lot of really good songs on it, and that is an example of one of them that made the charts. I'd also like to briefly shout out Space Cadet featuring Gunna and Up to Something, the Travis Scott and Young Thug collab. Those are both also very good, and also both cracked the top 100 in various spots. But Don't Come Out of the House is the highest song from that album to chart, and for good reason, because it's some great high quality murder music.
Yes, Garrett, what is your favorite song on the Billboard Hot 100?
Okay, so I've got multiple points here, I think, and I'm going to start with something that's not related to the Hot 100, but I want to give a shout out to Casey Musgraves, who just won Album of the Year at the CMAs with Golden Hour, because it's a good fucking album. Highly recommend
Yeehaw.
it. Yeehaw! Got me on some
Howdy.
yeehaw bullshit. I never recommend yeehaw bullshit. In fact, I have a rivalry with a friend of mine about twangy music, and Drew Burns, if you're listening, twangy music is bad. But anyway, at least on the top 100, I gotta say my least favorite track is any of them that involve XXX Dead Domestic Abuser guy, and whose name I can never actually say, or...
We only recognize
LOD,
one X on
right.
this podcast, and that is DMX.
And then
We only recognize one X, and he's going to give it to you.
Yes.
yes, exactly. And any that involve 6ix9ine, I don't know his name either, but either way, he's a pedophile and it's gross.
Yo,
So we're gonna not do that. We need to stop doing that.
Yo, Josiah, Garrett and Garrett. Remember when we were in the car? I think we were heading to
Yes.
his account, and then we saw the painted billboard of
we were
Casey
on our
Musgraves'
way
Golden
to-
Hour.
We were on our way from the Airbnb that was not happening to your friend's apartment to regroup, and we saw a beautiful 20-foot tall billboard of our sweet patron of Yeehaw, Casey Musgraves, and we were immediately relieved and soothed, and it was like we were like having the worst day, and then we saw Casey Musgraves, and we were just like, you know what, everything's gonna be all right. It's gonna be fine, and that is the power. Golden Hour is in stores now. Go purchase it. We love a country icon. Can I I want to make one more point with the top 100. I really hate to admit this, but you know, sometimes you like think you have an opinion on one song and you hear it again, and you just have to admit to what your brain thinks. I really love I Love It by Kanye West and Lil Pump. I'm sorry, it's so good. And it's so catchy, and every time I've heard it in a bar or party, I've loved every single second of it. I'm sorry, I can't help that Junkie loves this song so much.
It's a really bad guilty pleasure, but like,
you know, like
I get it.
The hook gets stuck in your head. Like it is effective, even though it's like complete performative vapidness.
Have you heard the clean version of that? You're such a freaky girl. I love it.
that is actually.
I mean, as far as like cleaning up that line, that's as good as you can do.
Yeah.
That's about as good as you can do while maintaining the sentiment, but still freaky just doesn't have the same.
Yes.
I can see liking it in a party setting, but my brother very quickly ruined that song for me by literally playing it at like 7 a.m. at the breakfast table, and I was like, can't do this.
All right.
Did
you-
We have. Sorry to
Back on
interrupt.
track,
We
back
gotta
on track.
we gotta get back
Yeah.
on track.
My
Garrett.
favorite song is "God Is a Woman" by Ariana Grande, because Ariana Grande is probably the best person on this chart right now in general.
Okay.
Good choice. Okay, now Garrett, what is your favorite song on the Billboard Hot 100?
Thank you. Next.
Thank you, Garrett. Garrett, what is
Yes,
your favorite
yes.
song on the Hot 100?
I jokingly put in our schedule that I don't have one, and Venice Bitch is song of the year because I wish that a 10-minute long Lana Del Rey song was charting. But on a serious note, it's probably a tie between Mo Bamba and Thank You Next.
Alrighty.
Venice Bitch is like it is a straight up revelation for me because like I have never enjoyed a Lana song like I have enjoyed this one for whatever reason. Just her whole kind of like musical like palette is just never really like sat with me in the way where I understand it, but it never really felt like it was music that I needed in my life. But oh boy, do I love Venice Bitch. I guess I just needed Lana Del Rey to be more like Joanna Newsom for me to enjoy, because this song is like very much like the sort of Lana Del Rey like pop version of like a Joanna Newsom song is what it feels like to me.
Yeah, no, her ability just to change sound between album cycles and just
is very impressive,
like seamlessly, is incredible. And I'm really excited for this, like based off of this single and the fact that the album title is Norman fucking Rockwell. Like I'm like, sign me up.
Yeah, the instrumentation of that song is just fucking beautiful. Like the guitars, it's gorgeous.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Lana Del Rey is good, folks.
All right. Okay. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of the podcast. We will be back. I don't know when we'll be back. We'll be back again sometime before the month ends, definitely, as we're probably going to bunker down soon and start preparing for our end of the year ordeals, the podcast awards, and of course our album of the year list, which is going to be a grand, fun time. And if you're listening now, again, make sure to subscribe to us on iTunes or follow us now on Spotify. As I previously mentioned, we are now on Spotify. Just look up Indieheads Podcast. You can find us there. We'll have links and descriptions to both areas where you can subscribe to us. And, of course, subscribe to us on YouTube. Follow us on Twitter at Indieheads Pod. And any other plugs we want to give out before the podcast ends? Any things that you guys want to promote?
Yeet.
Can I promote rock and roll music with guitars? It's good again. That's my promo.
Yes.
They fixed it.
Yes.
I would like to announce that in a couple weeks' time I will begin campaigning officially for Divers to be album of the decade.
Oh God, we're getting there.
Which it will be.
The folks over at Benji for Album of the Decade Incorporated wish you luck.
This post was made by Benji.
Let the better man win.
I guess I'll plug my thing real quick. I'll plug my thing real quick.
Go ahead.
Again, I did a for your consideration write up on Death Grips' best album, which you can find on my Reddit page, which is in the description. As again, Redacted on the Moon, it's the best Death Grips album, and I did I wrote 9 pages on Death Grips because they are my favorite band of all time, even if I don't think some of the recent stuff is as good as it used to be. But nonetheless, that is that. And also, in 2 weeks we're launching Album of the Year 2018 on Indieheads. 62 write-ups over 2 months from 62 users on the subreddit. I will be contributing. Garrett will be contributing. Let's see. I think again we're the only 2 Garretts contributing that are on this podcast as we speak, but there will be multiple Garretts contributing to this write up. So yeah, I think that'll about do it.
Be on the lookout for my write up about Daughters that will inevitably be definitely too long, but don't worry about it. It's fine.
We're gonna again. I'm
you
literally
will scream in the comments. Don't tell me how to do my job.
Yes,
hey,
exactly.
There you go. All right, we'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Good evening, gamers.